think this stadium and this facility, this campus, this town, when announcers come in here and we have the meetings with them on Friday, they're always blown away by Fort Collins and the community and the beauty. And now you've got this stadium on campus, the setting. I think it will take care of itself, and it would just naturally happen that they, talk glowingly about what's going on here at Colorado State. It's a pretty special place.
Does this feel different for you and your program having a homecoming actually on campus now? Is that more of a true homecoming?
No, homecoming's awesome for, all the people that get to come home and reminisce about all their memories of when they went to school here. For us, it's a ball game. And for people to have an enjoyable homecoming, besides reminiscing and talk about their memories of days when they were back in college, for them to have a great homecoming is for us to go out and play well and do our job. So that's what we focus on. There's no homecoming dance like high school. There's not that kind of distraction. I mean, it's a football game. It's a chance for us to play another conference game. That's how, we're approaching it. Now, you ask people that are coming to game, fans, I'm sure they're excited about coming back on campus. But for us, our job is to get ready to play and prepare the best we can.
I know you've only played 2 home games so far, but you have a sense of campus crowd, especially the Oregon State game, to sell out, how it can possibly affect the other team.
Yeah, we got to learn a little bit, of when to make noise and when to be quiet, and that's part of the process of building something. I've said a long time, really a lot since I've been here about. Really, I think there's not really a ceiling here of where we can go as a football program. Part of that is our passionate fan base, of coming to games and getting loud and getting behind your team and creating a true home field edge, and that's part of, us growing into what we want to grow. And I think we're still learning. I think this is, this being on campus, this stadium, this venue is going to attract more people. It already has with the people coming to the games. And now we got to learn how to turn it into a special place.
You guys going to practice in the snow today?
We are not going to practice in the snow. We were going to go inside either way because of the two, we're a little bit beat up. That was a physical football game, and we're going in shorts today and helmet, and we're going inside. Really, sometimes it's not really for weather. Sometimes it's psychological when you go inside, but we'll be outside every day after today.
How do you gauge a team like that? You look at the running back, his offensive player rating at 200-some yards, but it's more than half of the season total. Do you gauge them more on the jump you saw them make from week to week, or the team itself?
No, you look at it all, and then you talk to your team about here's a team that's, playing extremely hard. And that's a credit to them and to their coaches as they got ready to play, and they outplayed Hawaii and found a way to win the ball game. And they're going to come in here with the same expectation as to win the ball game. And but you show them, you look at all the film and you group it together. But not just to me, sometimes it's finding your groove. Sometimes it takes a little bit of a while to get. Is it cohesive? And they definitely were executing at a high level this past weekend. Defensively, I think they're extremely fast and playing hard and playing a lot of snaps. I think they're average maybe playing 84 snaps a game, and that's a lot of plays for a defense to play. And their offense got clicking this last week, and their defense, didn't have to play as many plays. No, we did it in fall camp, and that's, part of that is getting ready. But, sometimes it's like, do you practice later at night when you go to Hawaii? Because it's we want to stay in a routine. And, if we were a professional football team and our players had nothing to do but football and that was their job, then we might do that. But these guys got to go to school. They got academic appointments. The schedule that they've got to keep outside of their window there over here is very taxing for a young man. And if you start changing that for them, it's going to affect what their number one priority is, and that's going to school.
You mentioned last week after the game, you'd like to see Josh Watson have to play less snaps, but it's hard to take him off the field. Where have you seen his, biggest developments? What's impressed you most about the way he's playing this year?
Well, his instincts have improved. Josh has always been physical, and Josh has been very eager to play the type of defense that we want to play with effort and physicality. And sometimes, you know, he would just kind of a little bit of a robot out there. But now I think his instincts are starting to take over. Understands how to fit zones and fall back, and you know, playing pass routes and coverage, taking drops, and just seeing things and communicating the leadership. He's been our captain about every week, you know, majority of the time, and he's still an underclassman. I mean, he's the quarterback of the defense, you know, our Mike linebacker, and he's taking control of that. Where, you know, last year he was kind of thrown in that role with Deontay going down and not being able to play. And this year, that was a lot of experience for him. And then coming back, and then when Deontay has to be out again, I think he was ready for stepping into that role. And then you had Kevin Davis last year too. You know, you had Kevin and Deontay, and Josh is, you know, first-year starter trying to figure things out. And we knew Josh would have to play extremely well for us this year to be the kind of defensive football team that we needed, and he's playing that way. Now, we still need to take some snaps off of him because he's playing a lot of snaps, but it's hard to take him off the field because of what he's doing. And then that's where offensively you can help your defense. You know, when you don't have a lot of depth, which we don't on the defensive side of the football. I think we travel 9 more guys offensively than we do defensively in the 70-man travel roster. So there's not as much depth on that side of the ball. So offensively, you've got to make sure, you know, that, you know, you're thinking about, you know, one, you always want to score. You know, time of possession sometimes is a little bit over talked about statistic, but when you're thin and you go fast like we do at times, we got to make sure that when we're taking advantage of every drive, and then sometimes we got to slow it down to give the defense a chance to catch its breath, which I thought last week with, you know, 37 minutes of time of possession, and you know, we ran 80-something snaps, and they were in the they may have made 60, I'm not sure, but they didn't run a lot of snaps. It's a credit to our defense getting off the field, and then our offense controlling the clock.
You did mention, so like last year, you didn't have to be here because Kevin kind of filled that role, and I think most people expected Deontay was going to come back and do it, but did you see Josh preparing himself?
Yeah, Josh. I mean, he prepared his body. He got ready to play physically better than I thought he did last year. Josh was in the best shape he's ever been since I've been here. He's always been a guy that tends to get a little bit heavy-legged, but he was running with Trey Thomas and competing with him every day, and Trey can run all day. He didn't back down one day in the offseason or in fourth quarter of running stadium stairs or training. I mean, he just had a focus that he was going to be in the best shape of his life. And, you know, he's a little bit banged up. He had an issue with a knee last year. I mean, he played with a knee that needed to get scoped and, you know, held off till after the season to get that done, and played with a little bit of a meniscus tear last year just because he's a tough guy. And this year he's healthier.
Mike, you talked a lot about the focus of this team, play well on the road with tough situations. Is it somewhat almost harder this week when you're 21.5-point favorite to keep your players?
We're what?
You're 24.5-point favorite.
Mm.
I mean, you've been in that situation as a coach before, certainly your teams and such. Is it harder to keep the team focused that way?
No, because we won't change as coaches, and I expect the leadership not to change this week. Now, I mean, I haven't seen them since we got off the plane late Saturday night, but we won't change as coaches, and I expect the leadership of this team not to change in how we've approached practice. There's a reason we're 2-0 in the conference right now, is because of the things we've done. Now, if we're not mature enough to handle that, then we might not get to where we say we want to go, because we can't handle week in and week out doing what it takes to be successful. You know, that 2-0 start does not guarantee anything this week. We got to do it. We got to do it again for a new defense, a new offense, new special teams. And I mean, you just watch, turn on the TV every week. You know, I mean, underdogs win every week, whether it's a 7-point underdog, a 30-point underdog. I mean, underdogs are going to win, and I don't know why that happens. You know, but I know why if we don't prepare and work the way we should week in and week out, we got a good chance of getting beat on Saturday. Even if we prepare and work, I mean, you still got a chance of getting beat on Saturday. But if you don't focus and do the little things, then you're asking for trouble.
I know you haven't practiced with your team since it's been our start, but just talking to them on the planes there, and
No, we believe, you start to believe in what's going, you believe, one, you start to believe in what you're doing, schematically, offensively and defensively, and your teams when you have success. And so their confidence grows, and then you start to believe in the guy next to you. I think it was a great job on both sides of the ball defensively. There was more than Josh Watson making plays. I mean, we had 7 sacks. You got Emmanuel Jones making 2, Colorado making 2, R.J. Jean, he might have had two as well. Maybe Colorado was 1.5. I can't remember who the other one was. Then you got multiple guys making plays in the secondary. Big play when the guy scrambles. Vogel has a hit, and Hawkins comes and knocks it down on a big 3rd down. I mean, just you start to believe in each other because you know that guy's going to be there to do his job. And then offensively, being able to throw it to different people besides Michael Gallup, complete it to different receivers, run the ball the way we did. I think the belief in your teammates starts to grow. I think that's a positive. And then I think it's the belief in, hey, what we're doing is helping us play this way. Because we're working and we're doing what coach says and we're listening to our coaches and we're preparing the right way, and hopefully we're doing the right things away from this building, something that we can't always control because we're not with them 24 hours a day. You hope your leadership is taking over outside this building, that our guys on this team are doing the things that they need to do to make sure they're at their best week in and week out. We should be, if we want to be a championship football team, we should be doing those things. If not, we're just paying lip service to it, and it's going to catch up.
The last 2 weeks with the big leads and you being able to kind of run out the clock and spend a lot of time in the run game, does that help you develop the run game a little bit more?
Yeah, it's good for guys like Tyler Bjorklund. The last 2 weeks has played a lot of snaps and didn't really play a lot in the first 4 games. Ben Knox getting back, playing more snaps. Jeff Taylor getting back in the mix. And it takes a toll on you, though. Linemen like when you're running the ball, but it takes a toll on you physically more than it does pass protection. It takes a toll on your backs, your fullbacks, and your tight ends. We're a little bit beat up offensively. With linemen, we got a couple things. Our tight ends got a couple things. Our backs have got a couple things. But when you run it 50-plus times in a ball game, you're going to be a little bit sore. But I believe we're built to handle that because that's how we've worked. Really since I've been here, and this past year, a dedication to, we're going to try to be mentally and physically tougher than the teams we play each week. And it's not necessarily that Saturday, but being able to regroup and do it again. And that's going to be the question, as you build up. I mean, we got 6 more conference games. We got 1 this week, and then how are we going to respond on a short week? And then, but we just got to take it one day at a time. The guy's out, it's got to be the next man up, that mentality. And when all these guys are playing defensively and offensively, you're starting to gain trust as a coach, and your players are gaining trust in each other that, if something happens, we got other guys that can come in and help us be successful.
You've done it mostly with the 2 backs, with Izzy and Dalen. Is your 3rd back not where you want him to be, or you just
No, it's
play
not.
those 2?
No, these two, we're going to play the guys that understand what we're doing the best. They give us the best chance to be successful. And Coach Applewhite has told them that we don't know who the 3rd back is right now. So it's a competition every week who that 3rd back is. And then those 2 guys are running hard. Those 2 guys are running hard, and we're still not giving it to them. They still hadn't had over 20 carries, I don't think, either one of them. We're still spreading it out between those 2 and the 3rd getting a couple, and then Dietrich getting a couple, and then us still putting the ball in the air a good amount of time. I feel good with those 2 guys. And then, Marvin still not, to me, he's not 100% back from his knee. And then Body hit a little bit of a wall, but he's going to be given another opportunity this week to prove, that he could be the 3rd back to go in. Toby's out right now, probably indefinitely with his back. That's Toby McBride. He went and saw the doctor last week, and then he is out this week. Kyle Robinson is probably probable for this week. Jake Bennett will be fine. You know, Izzy Matthews, I mentioned. Dalton Fackel missed some at the end of the game, but he should be fine. We'll have a couple guys in some red jerseys this week. Defensively, I think we're pretty good. Colorado felt as good as he's felt after a game in a long time. And, you know, him and Jones are playing about 30 snaps a game. We're able to keep both of those guys rested, which is good. And defensively, I think Kyle was the only guy, right?
Thinking about Trey Smith too, 'cause it's like he made
Trey made a trip. He played on punt return. We're trying to take him back, ease him back in it where he just does special teams, and he did one special team last week. Hopefully he can do some more this week, but you'll probably just see him on special teams right now until we feel like he can take the running and pounding on his foot. It was a little stress fracture deal, and then running routes is, you know, could aggravate that. We want to make sure, we don't want to overdo him right now. So he's a very good special teams player for us, so he'll play special teams this week. He played just on punt return last week.